If you're in Seattle, and you need to buy or sell a home, we'll be right there for you. Because we're the realtors that you can trust. So go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Friday edition of the Ron and Don Show, where we do one segment. All we do is talk about real estate. And sometimes we talk and talk and talk and talk, and you're like, I wish those guys, it's a Friday. Why do they talk so much on a Friday?
Stop talking real estate.
Yeah, but this is a very important time, so we want everybody in the Ron and Don Nation to listen up, people, because it's after October 31st. And Ron, what does that mean besides the fact that we still got a lot of candy at our house that we're plowing through that the trick-or-treaters didn't come to get?
We know
it's a little reason I'm fired up today because I've had a little too many runts. I'm like 5 boxes in. Can you tell?
I know that you buy the candy in hopes that they don't actually eat it.
I buy the wacky wafers, I buy the sprees, I buy the runts, and I hope they don't.
Here's what Don does. He gets all the candy he loves, and then he pretends like he's going to put it in a bowl and he wants people to take it, but he puts all the candy he loves at the very bottom, and he takes the candy he hates and piles that on the top, hoping that the trick-or-treaters...
With a piece of cardboard between them.
Right, takes the candy that he hates. He's like, oh, what a surprise. I'm left with a giant bowl of candy that I absolutely love.
You know what I did this year, because it was raining out, is I put the candy out on the porch. I saw some trick-or-treaters come by. And then I took the candy off the porch and I put it in my utility room and I shut off the lights and went to bed. In fact, I went upstairs and I was watching this girl jump rope, but that's another story for another day.
So after October, November, December, in the Seattle real estate market, traditionally, and you can go back, the software that we have with the Northwest MLS will go back 10 years. You could go back farther using some other stuff. But for the past 10 years or so, almost like clockwork, you will see a decline in the median, any category that you want. So you can slice and dice by median sale price, by listed homes, by pending homes, by sold properties. There's a lot of different metrics you can use, but almost all of them, but median price is the one that I look at, is it will go down for 3 consecutive months. And then as you look through, and the trend line has actually been going up as real estate as a commodity, as a product has been appreciating in value. So the overall trend is still going up. But if you look at the jig jogs in between month to month throughout this 10-year span, it almost always goes down. And then when you hit January, February, March, into April, May, it will rocket up.
Is it called a jig jaw?
It's a jig jog.
I'm unfamiliar with the word.
The oscillations of the market as
this year, I was unaware of 6-7. I did that. I did that with my son the other day. He's horrified. He's like, he goes, "Don't ever do that again in front of him."
Does he 6-7?
No, he's not.
Does he jig jog?
I just learned jig jaw. I'm going to try it out on him tonight.
So,
I didn't know about the jig jaw.
You will see people always go, "Oh, how can I time the market? When's the best time to buy? When's the best time to sell?" You get that a lot, especially when if someone reads the news and they'll see a nationwide story. So like you'll get breaking news from homes.com, this happened, or the National Association of Realtors has this story about, overall housing for the entire country. They'll read something, think that it applies one-to-one to their situation, and in many times it does not.
So we were talking to one of our clients the other day, and we'll just call her Kate. So we're talking to Kate. She owns a really cool condo. I think it's in Ballard somewhere. Really cool condo. And a condo just sold it. And condos aren't everywhere selling great, but in her area they are, because people really like that downtown area, or close to the locks, or close to tech. It's a really cool place to live. So we were talking to her. We were doing a Ron and Don sit down, and she said, "Hey, look, a month ago, somebody sold their condo in my building, and they sold it in a day or two." And we were chatting with her. We're like, "Well, do you have to sell right now?" She's like, "No." And we said, "Why don't we sell next year?" If there was a condo that just sold in her building a month ago in a day or two, why was your counsel and our counsel to her, "Hey, you know what? Even though that happened, we're now on the other side of October 31st. We may want to pump the brakes here, use this time to prep the condo, and then do what?"
Well, in that specific instance, there are many people that want to live in a building when it comes to condos. So this has happened. It happens all the time. Where I want to live in that building. And if there's no listings there, you can put a search on that in whatever app you use, Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, Homes.com. You like search and you're like, if something pops up in this building, alert me, send an alert to my phone. And so, so if something pops up and someone's like been waiting for that building, they'll snap it up. Or others, sometimes the timing aligns where someone was searching, they find that one, they're ready to go and they buy it. Can you rely on that though? So there was that one data point that went in 2 days. All the other data points for sold condos and delisted condos and canceled condos in that area told a different story. So I never want to, for sellers or buyers, I never tell them to let's go for the unicorn. Like we're gonna shoot for the unicorn property. We had another property recently where all the pricing said that it was in this range, and these people decided, well, we're going to go for the unicorn pricing. We're going to go for the outlier. We want to be the outlier, and that didn't work. The outlier price wasn't attractive to the marketplace. So whether you're selling or buying, let's take as much information as we can and say this is most likely our outcome. So while yes, that condo did sell in 2 days, it went pending in 2 days. That doesn't mean that when we look at all the other condos, they're averaging 40 days. So can me in good faith tell you we're going to be the unicorn? I can't tell you that. So if we're going to try to sell right now, you would be better off waiting for that slingshot spring momentum that happens every year in the Pacific Northwest. You have a higher likelihood of success in that time.
Yeah, we call it the Seattle Spring Slingshot. And statistically, and we'll show you the statistics next week, there's just something that happens in the spring in Seattle, and I don't know if it happens anywhere else in the country like it happens here. So if I'm selling in the spring, is it a great time to buy in the spring?
Statistically, less. And so that's the trade-off that we talk about with people
because you're
well.
selling high and now you're buying higher. Yeah,
correct. You're competing more. And so as we look towards 2026, this is what I believe. And I can't speak for you. I think we're going to see another interest drop.
Speak for me because I'm tired of talking. I want to go have a giddy-up burger.
I think we're going to see another interest rate drop. The Fed has signaled that they wanted to go down 25 basis points again. That will eventually trickle into loan prices. It's tied to the bond market. We don't need to go into that. I think also we've seen a little bit of exhale with these political elections that have happened here recently. A little bit of exhale for some momentum. Yep. And I think the tech companies, Supreme Court right now is deciding on tariffs. And so depending on how that goes, we could see some tariff relief.
And boy, the judges were really pushing back this morning.
So it's undecided right now.
On the tariffs, which I was kind of shocked by.
If you're a glass half full person, you can go, okay, we're going to have a little bit better interest rates. We might see a rollback of some tariffs. We might see the economy in the Pacific Northwest of the big tech companies that have done a purge here in the final quarter of a fiscal year of coming back and rehiring some of those people.
Oh, yep.
I think we're going to have some momentum going into there where you're going to have, it's going to be better for sellers, more competition for buyers. Doesn't mean that you can't find a place, but that's the trade-off.
Well, that's where you have to think about strategy. So if we're telling you there's a spring shot, there's a slingshot that happens in the spring where lots of buyers show up. Lots of people decide over the holidays, I want to spend more time with my family. And then they find out, I do not want to spend more time with my family. Matt.
What's wrong with spring shot?
Yeah, that's spring shot. Anyway, so the important thing to understand is people are making decisions. And when they make those decisions in the spring, they show up, they go shopping, the flowers come out, homes look beautiful, and there's always an optimism. There's an optimism in the spring that people don't feel in the winter in Seattle. So we say after October 31st, from October 31st up and through January 15th, if you're a buyer, that's a great time to buy. If you can't buy during that time, another great time to buy is when school gets out, which is usually June 26th, and then kids go back to school September 4th and 5th. That spring market is a great time to buy.
Summer market.
Or the summer market. So in the spring, what you want to think, if you're selling in the spring or selling in the fall, if I'm going to live in the same area, how can I turn around so I don't overpay, right? How can I buy something in the summer, or how can I buy something during the holidays when there's less buyers out there? There's less people out looking for listings. And typically when people are buying, we tell people all the time as realtors, we want to sell your house in the spring or we want to sell in the fall. We don't want to sell in the summer, and we don't want to sell it in the wintertime when we're heading to the holidays. What we do want to do is we don't want to buy in the spring and buy in the fall. What we want to do is we want to buy in the summer, and we also want to buy during the holidays. So how do you do that? The great thing that COVID taught us is 30-day, 60-day, 90-day rentals. You could go out on Furnish Finders right now. You could find a home out there and say, hey, I would like to sign a lease for 4 months. I'm going to sell my house in the spring. Let's say I'm going to sell it in March. And then I want to hang on and sit on this pile of cash that I have. And maybe what I want to do is go find a Furnish Finder home in Greece somewhere. Or maybe I want to do that in California. Maybe I want to live in a different part of the world or a different part of the community. I'm living in Seattle. I always wondered what it would be like to live on Camano Island or the Olympic Peninsula. Go check it out. You got 3-4 months to do that. You put all your stuff in storage. These are all furnished for you. It's a Furnish Finder place or an Airbnb place or a VRBO. Have some fun with it. And we just did this with our friend Kim, and she told me we could talk about this. We sold her home during a great time on the east side. She went and lived in a backyard cottage I was able to find her for 4 months. And then we waited for the market to come to us, and we waited and waited. And recently when the market came to us, boom, we jumped on this home. She was staying in the cottage. We sent out her crews. Erasmo and the guys from Falcon Construction went out there, made her house beautiful. Have you seen pictures of it?
I haven't seen the updates.
I'll say it looks incredible. She just moved into it. She sent me a card that was so lovely and beautiful. It made me cry. So thanks for that, Kim. We really appreciate that. She is living in her dream home right now, and she did exactly that. I'm going to sell the house on the east side. I'm going to sit on that pile of cash. I'm going to live small in a little furnished backyard cottage where she always wanted to live on Queen Anne. So she loved living up there. She let the market come to her, and then we found the perfect house.
Sidebar here. You seem to be crying a lot lately. Are you okay?
I think it's all the runts. I think I have too much sugar in my system right now.
Remember, you have to ask him twice to make it stick.
I think I got to balance it out.
No, really, are you okay?
A Getty Up burger. Anyway, the best thing to do right now if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing, right? I was talking to my good friend Mo yesterday, who was doing some upholstery work on my van. Mo's like, I want to get in the market. I've never been in the market. I have some money set aside. I don't know what I'm doing. And what I would like to do is, he said, I haven't saved a lot for retirement. So what I'd like to do is live in one of the doors and then rent out the other door. And I don't know how to do that. I'm like, well, that's what I do. And we can show you how to do that. So a lot of times with us as real estate agents, the deal is done and it's done. A lot of times with us, like I just told you with Kim, it was our crews that went in there, brought that house back to life with Kim's help and our help and all our help. And we're here after the transaction too. And especially if you want to turn that house into a moneymaker, an ADU, a backyard cottage, any of that, we're here for it.
I just want to add one thing there because it brought up when you were talking about that. It's super easy for your first instinct to be, I'm going to start surfing for properties. I'm going to go out on the apps and I'm going to start favoriting and looking at all these properties and not doing the due diligence beforehand. I'm not saying don't look at houses because everybody likes to do that. But if you are not talking to Ron and Don, doing a sit down, looking at your buying power, understanding the loan products that are available to you, getting underwritten, maybe doing some credit repair. Then when it comes time to buy in the seasons that Don talked about, if you're standing there flat-footed and you have no idea what kind of buying power you have, you don't know where your down payment's coming from, you haven't looked into any of the financing, any of the numbers, the houses that were the dream house are going to get snapped up and you're going to be standing there going, that was it. I just missed my opportunity because I didn't do any of my due diligence. So we want to help you put together that plan to do your due diligence. And that's what the Ron and Don Sit Down is all about.
What is due diligence anyway? What is
DUE.
Got it.
Diligence.
All right, let's go, Seattle. Time to buy. Time to buy. All right, time to buy. You got anything else?
That is a hard sell right
little
there.
punchy
It's
today.
time to buy.
All right, ronanddonsitdown.com if you need us. Thanks to Matt and Grace and my son and Charlie the dog. He's Ron, I'm Don. ronanddonsitdown.com. And if you want to stand up during the sit down, maybe because you had too many giddy up burgers, you can do that as well. We don't care. I stand up a lot of times during the sit down. Matt, what are you doing?
Want to get a giddy up burger?
All right. Giddy up. Let's go. All right. Head up, shoulders back. We'll see you next time. You've been listening to the Ron and Don Show all day on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Well, that's it. Show's over. We'll see you next time on the Ron and Don Radio Network.